Welcome back, science fans. Until now, the ability to destroy human civilization has been limited to a few governments equipped with nuclear weapons or to groups of scientists in advanced biological labs. But this is rapidly changing. What was once the domain of the few is starting to shift, bringing us to a frightening possibility. In the not-too-distant future, the average person, someone you might pass on the street without a second thought, could possess the tools to create synthetic biological weapons. With the convergence of AI and biotechnology, the potential for a single person to engineer a virus of unparalleled lethality becomes very real. Today, we delve into a dark and deadly scenario, a world where the power of advanced AI falls into the wrong hands, where terrorists craft artificial viruses far more lethal than anything we've faced before. Get ready for an apocalyptic scenario where such a horrifying event unfolds. Imagine a pathogen designed with chilling precision, highly contagious and surpassing the most infectious diseases known to mankind. To put this into perspective, consider the R0 score, which measures how contagious a disease is. Measles, one of the most infectious viruses ever, has a score of 12 to 18, meaning one person can infect 12 to 18 others. However, our imagined pathogen doesn't come from natural evolution. Instead, it is a sinister creation born in a home laboratory. Here, a rogue scientist leverages the power of artificial intelligence to manipulate genetic material. This process, known as synthetic biology, involves creating new biological parts or, alternatively, taking a shortcut by redesigning existing natural biological systems to engineer a final deadly product. So how do they even do that? In this scenario, our terrorist saves time by using genetic sequences of viruses already known for their contagiousness. He then uses artificial intelligence that has been pre-trained on information that includes virology, epidemiology, and genetic engineering. He aims to identify the most effective combinations of genetic elements that will result in a pathogen with an unprecedented R0 score of 30. This would mean each infected individual has the potential to infect 30 others, a rate of transmission that blows away the most infectious diseases currently known. To create this, he would use CRISPR to splice genes from other viruses, alter their envelopes, and then merge various parts to create a supervirus. All of these things serve to enhance transmissibility and evade the human immune response. The result is a life form programmed to spread rapidly and efficiently while remaining undetected by traditional detection methods until it's too late. It would be impossible to create this killer virus without AI. These computers are used to not only design the virus, but to also predict its spread and model how it could evolve to beat vaccines and other medications. To sum it up, our rogue scientist, armed with an understanding of genetic engineering, has created a biological superweapon, a pathogen custom-built to spread swiftly and silently to an unsuspecting world. The virus's symptoms are initially mild or even non-existent, so people spread it to dozens of others before they know they're sick. As it entrenches itself within the population, its true virulence emerges. It viciously assaults the respiratory system, inflaming and damaging the lungs, making every breath a struggle. The attacks dwarf the severity of the COVID virus, making it a mere shadow in comparison. As the synthetic virus invades the body, it provokes an escalating immune response. This isn't just a normal defense mechanism, but a catastrophic overreaction, a cytokine storm. In this state, the immune system, usually the protector, turns into a destroyer. It releases excess cytokines, which are proteins that typically signal immune cells to fight off pathogens. However, in this overdrive mode, the cytokines attract too many immune cells, which begin attacking healthy tissues. Initially, the lungs are targeted. As the virus continues its onslaught, immune cells flood the alveoli, the tiny air sacs responsible for oxygen exchange. However, swamped by too many cells and the ensuing inflammation, the alveoli can't work properly. This disruption leads to acute respiratory distress syndrome, a severe condition where a person can't breathe. As the lungs struggle to function, the body's oxygen levels plummet, endangering other vital organs. But the devastation doesn't stop there. The hyperactive immune response throws a 1-2 punch that disrupts the delicate balance of the body's systems. The heart, liver, and kidneys struggle under the stress, leading to organ failure. Blood clotting mechanisms go awry, causing both uncontrolled bleeding and clot formation, which lead to strokes and heart attacks. In the final stages, the body's defenses are completely overrun. The capillaries, which are tiny blood vessels used for nutrient and oxygen exchange, become leaky. This leads to fluids seeping from the eyes, nose, and mouth. No, not a fun way to die. Such a virus would not only overwhelm our hospitals, but also destroy the fabric of our global society. Now that you've seen what such a contagious and deadly virus can do to a person, step back and imagine what happens to society when it spreads. At first, no one notices because it has been designed to enter the body and remain dormant. For a time, cities will continue to bustle with energy. Markets will overflow with abundance, and laughter will fill the air at parks and streets. It's a world of prosperity and peace, blissfully unaware of the impending storm about to change everything. As the infection spreads and people begin to get sick, fear takes root. Hospitals are quickly inundated, and healthcare workers are overwhelmed by the sheer numbers of the sick. People begin to scramble for necessities, clearing shelves in a frenzy of panic buying. The international community is broken, with travel bans and border closures fracturing global unity. As the death toll mounts, governments worldwide are thrust into a familiar yet far more dire scenario. Curfews and lockdowns are resuscitated. Yes, we've seen this story before with COVID, but this time, the stakes are much, much higher. The impact to society, with its hyper-contagiousness and lethality, dwarfs the last pandemic. The unrelenting spread brings more than just a staggering death toll. It triggers an economic and societal collapse, far surpassing what we witnessed in the COVID era. Remember those days when the pandemic first spread through the world and basic supplies began to run out? Factories were closed because people were too scared or sick to come to work. Because some of those products are used to make other items, the losses create cascading shockwaves that ripple through global supply chains. This impacted the whole world. You'll never forget when your local store had no more toilet paper, right? Now imagine that scenario magnified by 100-fold. Once teeming with life, cities become ghost towns. The streets you walked are now eerily silent. The favorite coffee shop where you started your mornings, shuttered. The park where families gathered, deserted. Homes are filled with the haunted faces of those stripped of their livelihoods overnight. In the shadow of a collapsing society, the race for a cure becomes a beacon of hope. In their laboratories turned battlegrounds, scientists work against the clock. Their tireless efforts are testament to human resilience. But outside these walls, the world unravels. As we reach the end of this chapter, the story is far from over. The journey to find a cure that would save humanity will be fraught with challenges. In the next part, we'll dive into the heart of this quest, how scientists create cures for deadly infections. I hope you've enjoyed this trip down a chilling what-if lane. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated with more fascinating and thought-provoking content like this. Until the next time!